adaptable tests. One, they're not repeatable.
You'll never know.
Your child's test is different from anybody else's test. If the child takes the test again, it's still not repeatable and not relatable to the first test. But the question is, how on earth can you score it? Second problem, the parent can't see it. There's no way of saying that it's a valid test or there's a problem or anything else. You are being basically refuted from the Freedom of Information law, saying you cannot see that information about your own child, but somebody in another state can get that information while you can't. And now, if anybody, I believe that is correct.
That's correct.
Now, the other thing I have is basically on data mining. You know, they're asking information about your religious affiliations, about how you vote, about all personal questions. I think the NSA would be very glad
That's
that
what I was thinking, the NSA, exactly.
You can't get that information on a college campus anymore. Your Social Security is not allowed to be put on an application anywhere. We scan our computers. We spend $1 million every year making sure nobody has written us a Social Security number. We couldn't ask you your religious affiliation on any kind of application, any case like that. You can volunteer something, but you can't
The
do
child
that.
does not know.
Right. That's what I'm saying. If you can't do it in a college,
You know,
why
unless
can
you
we do
train
it in
to
a
say,
college?
don't answer those questions,
Right.
there's no way that the child will be intelligent enough to answer.
The back? Oh, no,
Just
right
to
behind
touch on
you.
data, I was curious, is there any way to, Dr. any way to limit P20 as far as like, can I like opt my kid out of P20 for the data, or where does it go? Like, is there any options for parents on that?
Well, again, we have unalienable rights, and to that extent, then you can absolutely refuse to consent to providing information because you deem it harmful, because your child may be harmed by that information getting out somewhere. On that basis, you could make that argument, yes. This is new territory, right? There isn't a statute that I can say, oh yes, you can go and hang out on this statute. They have done an end run around all the statutes.
Right.
And that's what the problem is. So you are going to have to rely on your unalienable right as a parent to the upbringing and education of your child to say, this is harmful to my child. I refuse to consent to allow this information to be provided.
Unless you're knowing that you're guaranteed that that information is 100% safe.
Right?
And the other thing is that as we become more reliant on the technical devices for the curriculum, that is in real time collecting information. And so then how do you opt your child out of, or say I refuse, I do not give consent for my child to be part of this data collection, then they would not be participating in the public school. Right?
Or public school have to change. If enough people did that, then they would have to do something different.
I have a very good handout that's on the table as you leave, and I encourage you to take it. There's a woman in Connecticut who is a wonderful researcher and writer, and she had attempted to opt her child out of the testing, and based on concern for the data mining and the privacy, her school district had told her that all of that information remains in the local server. She did all of her research and submitted that and made it available online, saying that the towns, while they may intend to have it on the local server, it is mandated for that information to be uploaded to the SLDS, State Longitudinal Database. So what happens is the states have to, the towns have to upload that statewide. Then it goes federal-wide. Then the FERPA, which is the family. So your privacy laws now have been changed, and so now there are no foreseeable limits as to where this information, first of all, what's going to be collected, where it goes, who else has access to it, and we've already seen lawsuits, data breaches. So I know for me, I'm getting a little, that's for me personally, that's my biggest concern.
Is it only being collected from testing, or what are the other?
Every number that you talk about.
Right, and as our schools bring more technology into the school under the guise of moving into the next century and updating, that is for data mining. Okay, so every day, not just on the test, but the tests are a very valuable tool, like Denise said, that there's a lot of leverage there.
Well, I'm very new to it, I'm
Right.
new, so forgive me, but our teacher specifically does not allow, there's only certain kids that are online during the school day. So how,
I think what she's talking about is, as a teacher, I input grades
Yeah.
into a power school, which is owned by Pearson.
right,
So all of their grades are inputted, and I can go in and look at all their demographics and everything on the computer. It's all on the computer. So every project that I give, and I give a grade, it gets inputted into the computer.
But then the teachers are also asked for behavioral analysis and it's all.
Not me personally.
Right, but
Can I ask one question about the $4.35 billion that Gates put into it? How's that line item by state? Does anybody know? Or what is Bill Gates getting for his billions?
All right, what is Bill Gates getting for his billions? You have to think about how much money is being shifted. I said sit next to instructor, the teacher in the classroom, the person next to the child. Look at the massive amount of money, billions and trillions of dollars being shifted to technology. How active is a laptop's life? Is what, 3 years? What are those tablets, what, 2 years? The constant, we get ready for IT bills in your community that force you to close schools. Get ready for that. You will forced to be forced to close schools, be forced to lay off teachers, increase class size, just to pay for that. We don't even have the capabilities to have every child take the test online. There have been problems reported across the country. So what does Bill Gates get? It's called Microsoft. It's his software.
ma'am, go ahead.
I have a little bit about pulling in some multiple points. Math, current class tests, special needs. One of the things that I would suggest is that you opt your children out of taking online tests. I'm sorry to the teachers in the room. My son has a math class. He's had problems in math. The math tests are online. His teacher is emailing me, telling me, I'm telling him to use the scratch paper, and he's not using it, okay? He's not processing the information that he should be doing the math on a piece of paper and then putting the answer in. That's one problem. The next problem is getting his grades back. I'm the white suburban mom, and I'm a knowledgeable one at that. The fact that the parents who don't know, and I've gone to this teacher numerous times, ask why he got like a 64 on one of his math tests, but it was really a 78. She said, oh, because of the fact that some of the math questions are, help me out teachers, a short answer math problem, he did more poorly on those and he got more off. So they're scaling certain questions. So it's not a full answer. You might get a partial answer, like on the first 10 questions, if they're just a multiple choice and easy answer, you might get 75% or 0.75 versus a large question that's a full 1 point scoring. I know I'm not explaining
No,
that.
which is funny because math used to be either right or wrong.
Right.
Yeah. And his teacher said to me, oh, well,
Should be
if
an
you put
exact
something
science.
on the scratch paper, I could give him some extra credit, but he's not putting anything on the scratch paper. So opt your kids out of taking tests on the computer for math. I just think that that's abominable, especially for kids who have special needs in any way, shape, or form. I mean, developmentally, I was a counselor in Texas before I moved up here and have all these issues. And I'm trying to advocate in my town for my kids and for Connecticut. It's a mess. And we have to activate everybody to advocate.
Yeah.